Our culture, we want to be a leading organization in biblical worldview training for cultural transformation. Thank you for standing with us.
It's First Time Caller Day on Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
It is first-time callers, so start lining up, folks. If you've never been on the show with us, today could be your day.
So first-time callers only today. Now we're going to ask 3 questions each.
The quack of a duck does not produce an echo. Is that true or false?
That falls under the category of it's just wrong. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trivia Friday here on American Family Radio. Tim Wildman, Ed Battagliano. Good morning, Ed.
Hey, good morning, Tim.
JJ Jasper, the pride of Owensboro, Kentucky.
Great to be here. Can I tell a quick story?
Sure. Can we stop you?
Saturday, our family was on the beautiful Natchez Trace Parkway at the Visitor Center, and we met a family, an AFR family. It was Brett, Chrissy, Ezra, and Hayes Cuevas. And Ezra had actually got on trivia. He's the one that said, do chickens have earlobes?
Oh,
and it even made it onto Hilarious Highlights and one of our little promos. But they were the epitome of an AFR family. They love the Lord. They were patriots. They love American Family Radio. I noticed the dad had a big belt buckle. I said, do you rodeo? Yes, sir, I'm a bull rider. He was a lineman, a bull rider. His wife was the principal of a school. Now they're homeschooling their kids. And we just had the best time. We spent several hours with them and our family and their family, and they were just traveling up the Natchez Trace. So it was a real treat.
A coincidental meeting?
Yeah, it just so happened, that we just were in the visitor center together, and then we just met each other. And they're from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. That's where my wife is from. So then they started realizing they knew a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
But it was just a real blessing. It's when you get to meet a listener, we know you're out there listening to the radio, but then when we see you and see how much,
and we're not disappointed.
That's right. Hey, well, they just
and vice versa.
And that's right. Well, I've heard so many times that I've got a face for radio. It's hard to. Yeah. I hope that's a compliment.
Yeah.
But good morning, Ezra. They just listened faithfully to Trivia Friday, and they were so excited when Ezra got through and got on the air.
Wow.
Ed, tell us what the ground rules are for this here show.
All right, the ground rules, as you heard when you first tuned in, this is first-time caller only. So if you have never been on the air with us, today might be your day. You're welcome to call. If you have been on, you need to wait until next week. 11 years old and up is our standard. We have no regulations. We do have standards. On the bottom end, we don't have a requirement for how old. You have to be on the top end of that. And so we ask you to call in and ask a question, a trivia question, answer one of ours. We like for you to do both. The number to call if you want to get on is 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. 8840. Now, JJ, we're going to ask 3 questions each, we 3 professors. That's a total of 9 questions, but one of them is special. What is it?
One is a mystery question, and if you happen to land on that and answer it correctly, you'll hear this sound. Ah, the beloved cowbell. That means you've won yourself a nice stainless steel AFR tumbler.
And this travel mug, folks, is actually the result of the Apollo space program. I mean, just the materials that it's made out of. Are you talking
about the travel mug? It's time for me to put it on my head?
Yes, sir, if that's what you want.
I was distracted.
Yes.
I'll try to do that right now.
All right, so if you're watching our live stream, video stream, Tim has placed a full travel mug filled with scalding hot water and coffee, and it is on top of his head, folks. And if he drops it, it's third-degree burns.
Am I getting better every week?
You are getting better.
And I'm going to help you continue to spin your yarn. The Apollo space program brought us big pens, ballpoint pens, Tang, and this traveling mug.
Yes.
The tumbler.
This actually, the material it's made out of, folks, came from a meteorite that landed in Wyoming somewhere. We can't tell you where, but that material, this is an extraterrestrial travel mug.
All right. I feel like I'm a ride at Disney World, with my mechanical motions and my
Yes,
being able to
it's a
balance
small
this
world after all,
all.
Tim.
That's
All right.
right.
So anyway,
If you answer correctly, you'll hear the cowbell. You'll win the travel mug.
Gotcha. All right. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everybody listening to today's issues throughout the week, and then we have fun here on Trivia Friday. So, Ed, go ahead.
I guess we're ready. Okay.
Get started
Let's
here,
do
man.
it.
Let's
Here
go.
are my
Let's
three
do
questions. On your back patio, you see a vinegaroon. What else is it called? On your back patio, you see a vinegaroon. What else is it called?
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
You feel free not to answer it. When you see this vinegaroon,
Vinegaroon, yes. Just like you said, vinegaroon.
that depends on what part of the country you're from.
Okay.
How you say that word, vinegaroon.
Yeah.
When you see this, are you troubled in spirit?
Yeah, the size of it's 3 or 4 or 5 inches.
Okay.
Girls will
So
scream.
you're bothered. Or
Yeah.
you're okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know.
Now, I was
how
going a
this
whole
would-
different direction. I was ready to go get a halter and ride that dude around the backyard. Say, hey, y'all, somebody get the camera ready because I'm going to ride one of these vinegaroons.
vinegaroons.
I will.
See if I, can
will.
stay on for 8 seconds.
I will narrow it down.
Okay.
Since it becomes clear that you guys aren't sure what basket to put this into.
Right.
This is something that's in the category of. Oh, I don't want to give too much away. You would scream bug. Okay.
All right.
All right. Second question. What cartoon character always said, "Here I come to save the day"? I don't want to do that too often.
No, that was good. Yeah.
Here I come to save the day. What cartoon character always said that?
He rarely did.
What's that?
He rarely did, though.
He rarely saved the day.
If I remember correctly, the episodes I saw, very disappointed in that guy, that character.
Yeah. Big disappointment always.
But enough about Mr. Magoo. If he had just got him some bifocals, I think he would have saved the day a whole lot more often.
and not walked off the top of
That's
tall
right.
buildings. All right, third question. This is a true-false. Movie previews are called trailers because when they were first introduced, they were shown after the main feature. Is that true or false? Movie previews are called trailers because when they were first introduced, they were shown after the main feature. Is that true or false?
Here's what I've got. First question. There are 12 books in the Bible known as the Minor Prophets. Name 10 of them. I'm going to give you a little wiggle room. 12 minor prophets. Name 10 of them. Second question. Which baseball team was plagued by the curse of the Bambino? Which baseball team was plagued by the curse of the Bambino? Third question, true or false, only 25% of the Sahara Desert is sandy. Most of the Sahara Desert is covered in gravel. Is that true or false? Only about 25% of the Sahara Desert is sandy. Most of the Sahara Desert is covered in gravel. True or false?
All right, my questions are as follows. Number one, I want the 2 least populated states in America. The 2 least populated states in America. That's first trivia question, according to the 2023 census.
Well, it's not the state of confusion because there's a whole lot of people living in that state. See what I did there?
Yes, I see what you did there. And I laughed. And it was funny. JJ just sat there. He wasn't moved.
No, I know the driver of the bus headed there, so it hurts. A little piece of me died. And a lot of them are voters of one ilk.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so we see the what are the 2 least populated states in the United States, okay? Number 2, I want to name, I have a list here. I don't just ask for one answer. I like to challenge people. Okay, so I want to know the 3 largest military bases in the continental United States by land mass? And if you can answer that without looking it up, AFR stainless steel travel mug is headed your way. Compliments of AFR.
3 largest bases, not by troops, but by acreage.
That's right. That's right. Everybody got that question?
Yes,
I do.
sir.
If you can do it without, I don't care if you look it up to answer it, but if you can answer without looking it up,
Travel mug coming
yes,
your way.
Yes. All right. Now, also a travel mug. I'm getting free with these things here, but a travel mug is out there
Up for grabs.
for the person who can call in and by memory, give me the first 2 verses of Psalm 91. If you can
Wow.
give me the first 2 verses of Psalm 91 without looking it up. Again, there's nothing wrong with looking it up. That's how we learn. But if you already have this committed to memory,
That's good.
I
You'll
won't-
quote that.
if
You're
you can
gonna
quote
send
that, I'm going to send them an AFR
Wow.
travel mug.
You are generous.
That's Psalm 91. Everybody got that? Let's
Got
go, Ed.
All right, we go to Arkansas first of all, and Francis is on the line. Francis, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you.
What
Hey,
part-
Francis, where are you calling? Sorry to interrupt
No, that's
you, Ed.
right.
We live in Springdale.
Springdale, Arkansas, northwest corner.
Yes, sir.
Um,
It's growing and growing.
yeah, that's what they say. It's like one of the fastest growing parts of the country right there.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't
northwest-
realize it until about 5 o'clock in the evening.
Right, right. Well, it's a beautiful part of the country, and no doubt that's why one of the main reasons, and business friendly.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead, Francis. You ask, answer, or both?
Well, I'd like to try and answer the population question.
Okay. The question before us is, and Francis is going to answer. I want you to name. You don't have to name them in order, but the 2 least populated states in the U.S.
I'm thinking it might be Montana and Rhode Island.
Let's see. Rhode Island is number 7, and Montana's number 8. So you were in the top. You were in the top 10 with your guesses, and you helped the next person.
That's right.
But anyway, okay. What is your question for us, Francis?
I'd like to know who was the first person with a tablet to download from the cloud.
I know where she's. Don't you see what she's doing?
yes,
I
yeah.
don't.
Moses. We're going to say
yeah.
Moses
The
on
cloud.
Mount
Oh,
Sinai.
okay.
Yeah.
Download.
Yeah.
I like that. If
Yeah,
that's what
well
she's
done.
doing.
We're gonna.
Francis.
What's the question again? And we're gonna give the answer. JJ had it.
Who was the first person with a tablet to download from the cloud?
JJ.
That would be Moses
All right.
on Mount Sinai.
Tell me we got it right, Francis.
You certainly did.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Yay for our team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
JJ
that
came through.
No, that
Found
was
a
you.
T-shirt for my grandson.
Yeah, that was you, Tim, because I'm thinking Gates. I'm going back to the ones, and then
Right.
till Tim said,
Moses.
yeah,
Moses.
then Tim said, oh, wait a minute. I said,
I see where he's going with that.
My riddle
She's going
alarm
with
went
that. Francis is. Francis, thank you so much for calling, and you have a wonderful day. Appreciate the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Oh,
All right.
sorry.
So it's Francis from Northwest Arkansas. We go across the river to Alexandria, or Alexandra, who's calling from Tennessee. Hi, Alexandra.
Hi,
Hey, where are you calling from in Tennessee?
west of Nashville.
West of Nashville. Okay. Well, listen, thanks for calling. You want to ask, answer, or both?
Both.
All right. Which one do you want to answer?
One about the minor prophets.
oh, wow, that's great. It's good
Impressive.
to hear a young
Yeah.
person that knows the word. Okay, Alexandra, here's the question. There are 12 books in the Bible known as the minor prophets. Name 10 of them.
Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai.
Nicely done.
That's in
Wow.
order.
Yeah.
That's in order,
That's
by
in
the
order.
way.
wow.
That was in order.
So you must have either it's you learned that at home, or you went to Awana, or how'd you learn that? Alexandra? Home. Well, wonderful. You got some great parents,
Yes.
Christian
Yeah.
mentors
Amen.
there. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And so what are they again, JJ, real quick?
Here's all 12
They're minor?
minor prophets.
So what does that mean?
I'm going to
There's small. There's smaller books.
Oh, they're smaller books.
Yeah, they worked in the coal mines and silver mines
right.
and gold mines.
Of ancient Israel.
Yeah, they were laying down on those little trolleys and those real small.
Yeah.
So
trains
they were
going into the
they were
tunnels.
minors, not minors.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So just smaller books? Is that the
Yeah, I think that's
criteria?
yeah.
Smaller meaning shorter?
Shorter, yes,
shorter
that's what I mean. Shorter. Yeah.
So you got Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, or however you pronounce that, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah.
Starting to slur, JJ.
I know.
Starting to slur your speech. You
know
shouldn't
what?
have taken that cough medicine before the show
When
started.
you're not sure, you just try to blur a couple. I never have been sure about Habakkuk or Habakkuk.
You know what? It's bad. I've been sitting in service, and our pastor, who I love, Scooter Nolan, he's on our board of directors here at AFA. He'll pronounce one of these books, and I go, "That's not the way I learned it."
Yeah, right. Well, then you could wind up in Nevada, and you don't know if it's Nevada or Nevada
right.
or Missouri or Missouri. So that's why I might have slurred that intentionally.
And the last one, I always like to correct people. Most people pronounce it Malachi, but it's actually Malachi. And it's the first Italian prophet in the Old Testament, the prophet Malachi.
Hey, Alexandra, in all sincerity, for your family, for you to have a
Amen.
heart for the Word and want to know the Bible and read the Bible, we can't overstate the importance of getting in God's Word and allowing God's Word to get in you. What's your question for us?
What is the shortest chapter in the Bible?
Shortest chapter
All right,
in the
we're going
Bible.
to talk amongst ourselves here, Alexander, so don't say yes or no. Is it
Something
Psalm
in-
100?
Is that, or is it something in?
No, it's not Psalm 100.
Maybe
but
Jude.
It's Psalm.
Is it a psalm?
Yeah, I think
Short
it's a psalm. I think, isn't the longest and the shortest both in Psalm?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
longest is Psalm
Yes.
119.
Right.
So the shortest,
So
Sure.
100?
everyone's signaling
Is it like
117.
Oh, 117
Yeah.
is the shortest.
Got-
we
All right, we're gonna
we
go-
used a lifeline, Alexandra. We're going to say Psalm 117.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
How
Thank
long-
you,
how many verses-
Adam,
how many
and everybody
verses is
that's
it?
helped us.
how many verses is it, Alexandra?
2.
Two verses.
What are
verses.
they? Read them.
She may not have it pulled up. You want her to go look it up?
Doesn't know it by memory?
Oh.
Just two verses?
So you
There's your
concentrated
assignment
all
for
your
this
efforts
weekend.
on the minor. You concentrated all your efforts on the minor prophets, and you didn't learn Psalm 117.
You had
by
the
heart.
opportunity to commit that to memory. There's your homework assignment,
right.
Alexandra.
All
Thank
right.
you again
All
for
right.
listening. Tell your parents we said hello. Have a great weekend.
All right, we go back to Arkansas, and Susan is on the line. Susan, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hi.
Hey, Susan, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing well ourselves. What part of Arkansas do you live in?
Well, I'm in north central Arkansas in a little town called Yellville.
Is that near Searcy or Harrison, or where are you?
Yes, I'm about an hour east of Harrison.
So you said Yellville?
Yes, sir.
I guess you don't hear any jokes about that, do you?
Of course not. No, it's, we hear it all the time.
She's never heard a joke about Yellville, Head.
How loud do I have to speak
Oh,
in
man.
Yellville?
All right, from Yellville, Arkansas, Susan calls. And what do you have? Do you want to ask, answer, or both, Susan?
I'd like to try both.
Okay, which one do you want to try to answer?
I'm going to try to do the least populated state.
All right, the question is, what are the two least populated states in the U.S.?
Okay, I'm going to guess Alaska and my siblings and I were debating on whether or not it was a couple of different places, but we were going to say Washington.
Washington State? Okay.
Yes.
All right. You did. Alaska is number 3.
Really?
Oh, so that's close.
Okay.
Alaska is number
With
3.
all that room.
Yeah, they're the number 3 least populated state in the country is Alaska.
And we're not drilling oil there. Why?
Yes, right.
We know how many caribou are there.
State of Washington, that's not one of the answers. So good try. You did get close with Alaska. Alaska has 732,673 people. Salute. All right, people.
Susan, what's your question for us?
Okay, so I wondered, if you threw a blue rock into the Red Sea, what does it become?
It becomes wet.
You're right.
Wow.
JJ coming through.
I can see y'all's brains starting to tilt the wrong direction.
Yes.
I just want to save you from any hard ciphering.
Any embarrassments?
Okay, so the question that went by me so fast. What did you say the question is, Susan?
I said, if you threw a blue rock into the Red Sea, what does it become?
And JJ said
Wet.
wet.
Yeah, I was immediately trying to figure out something about purple and something clever.
No, Susan knew that. She knew what she was doing.
It was a setup,
there.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a setup.
It was a setup.
Make you look bad.
Yeah, well.
That's why I didn't answer it.
Hey,
I wasn't
Susan,
going to fall for that one.
have a great weekend.
Better to keep your mouth shut and let them think you're stupid.
Then open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Well, thank y'all
Thank you,
Thank
Susan.
you,
so
Sue.
much for
All right.
having me on. And my siblings, I have 5 other siblings, and we really enjoy listening to y'all.
Well,
thank you,
Susan.
Susan.
Give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Name them on the air.
Yeah,
all
throw
5.
a rock at them on our behalf.
Yeah, I want to hear their names.
Well, I have my oldest brother is CJ. My second oldest is Danielle. And then there's Catherine and James and Ruth.
Wonderful.
Wow.
A lot of good Bible names.
Hey,
in the mix.
Susan, how far are you? You're not too far from the Buffalo River, are you?
No, sir. I'm about 5 or 10 minutes away from the Buffalo.
Because one of my fondest memories as a child, while I was probably 10, my dad took me and my uncle and my cousins. We went to the Buffalo River and went on a overnight canoe trip.
How fun.
And it is. You get out. They got outfitters up there. It's just absolutely stunning.
I took a youth group to
It-
the Buffalo River on 2 occasions.
Did you?
It's great.
Susan, you've done that too, right?
Yes, sir, we have.
Yeah.
That is nice.
It's a beautiful place to go. I don't know if it's a state park or a national park. I think it's just a state park, but it's
Well, there you have it, folks. I know we're a ways from spring break and summertime, but there's you a destination to consider for next year. Take the family to Arkansas.
I want to take my grandkids
Go down
up there
the
now,
Buffalo
you know.
River.
So I remember my uncle and my dad. And my uncle got back to nature on a little swim expedition. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
but
Susan,
he was a country,
have a great weekend.
He was a country boy, and
Through and through.
He was a country boy, and it wasn't but us guys.
Yeah.
Okay. But he anyway, there you go. We'll be back
Thank you for
momentarily.
that,
Stay
Tim.
with us. Yes. Yes.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
For the love of money is the root of all evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced their hearts with many pangs. Well, don't give up on people. There's still goodness left in some of them. Mrs. Jean Carden of Los Angeles is proof of that. Miss Carden was walking down a Los Angeles sidewalk one day when she found $100 on the street. She carried it to the police station and turned it over to the authorities. So what's so great about that, you ask? Well, I would agree that there would be several who would do likewise. But Mrs. Carden was something of a special case in my book. Why? Well, for the simple reason that at the time she found the money, she didn't have enough money for a bus ticket to the police station 10 blocks away. In fact, she was flat broke. So she walked the 10 blocks to the station to turn the money in. And to top it all off, she didn't even have a job. Why did she do it? I just followed my impulse, she said. Her impulse told her it was the right thing to do. She went on to add another comment. Some people tell me I was foolish. Well, you could have predicted that. There are always some who call honesty foolish. To them, it would be a simple case of finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Since turning in the money, Mrs. Carden has opened her first savings account in 20 years with a deposit of $700. No, she didn't get a reward for turning the money in. It seems that people heard of her deed and wanted to help a person with such high morals. There is within each of us that impulse, which Ms. Carden spoke of. It's there unless, of course, we've killed it with neglect. It's there to help us make the right decision. Did you notice that Mrs. Carden said her impulse told her it was the right thing to do? That's one reason that impulse is there, to help us determine right from wrong. For Ms. Carden, it was a moral decision, not an economic one, which was called for. Money was involved here, but it was no basis for a decision. The only basis for a decision was what was right. Do you think that perhaps business could take a tip from this? For many times there's a moral decision which overrides an economic one. And maybe even for you and me there's a hint of help here. To spend our money like we should with an obligation to do right. If we could follow the example, maybe we could change the fact that we spend twice as much on liquor as on the carpenter's work. Now, admittedly, money, too much or too little of it, for her, no one ever has just the right amount, creates all kinds of problems for most of us. And we're often tempted to stretch our morals a little to catch up with our money. But is it the money itself that creates the problem? And if you should decide to take the tip and make the change with regards to money and morals, remember Mrs. Carden's other remark. Some people will call you foolish.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Jeremiah 29, verse 13.
American Family Radio.
To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Pow!
Wham!
Wham! There you go. They're going to sing anything? No, that's it.
There's two versions of it.
Okay. Now that's the theme from Batman from the television series.
Yeah. Oh,
there we go.
Get
Batman.
the little Batman
There we
thing.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, from 65 and 66, I think.
Just 2 years?
I think it was just 2 years, maybe 3. You'd be surprised. Like the original Star Trek, I think was only, with William Shatner. Mm-hmm. It was only on for like 3 years.
Yeah. Oh, 3 years?
Yeah, but they just stick around in the public imagination.
So who were Batman and Robin? What were the actors?
It was Adam West and Burt Ward.
Did they ever overcome that typecasting?
No, I don't think so.
Did they go on to other acting feats? Or,
I don't think so.
They
did act in other things, but they never. It's kind of like Don Knotts. He never stopped being Barney Fife.
Well, did Robin ever get over having to wear that outfit? Yeah. That would be my question.
He did not.
That would
it scarred him.
That would be something you don't show your grandchildren. Hey kids,
those shorts.
Come over
and
here
those
and watch
tights.
Grandpa from 1964. Look at there. That'll make you proud, doesn't it?
He used
got the yellow spandex on.
He made a lot of money as an actor, but he had to spend it to the therapist. So it just all is a wash.
Got a big green R on my chest right there and a mask. Huh?
And they used to do public appearances while the show was in its heyday. So Adam West got to wear the Batman outfit, which is pretty cool.
Right.
But Burt Ward had to wear the Robin outfit out in public.
They got those ideas for those outfits in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. Is that true or false? Except for they left off the feathers and things.
And the beads.
Yeah.
Call home, tell your folks you got the big break in Hollywood.
I got some good news and some bad news.
I got this start, and then I'm destined for greatness.
Bad news is,
Dad, I wanted you to be proud of me. Just don't watch whenever I'm Robin. Let's just leave it at that.
I got to wear tights.
All right, Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Tim, Ed, and JJ, and we call this
Learning University.
Learning University is on the air. Ed, what's the purpose? What's our mission statement?
Listen, our desire is to make our listeners smarter, betterer, and awesomer. And we do it one question at a time.
Yes, we do. And we take our job very seriously.
Maybe.
On occasion.
All
right,
hey, should we reset our questions?
We should, I think.
All right. We're going to reset our questions, folks. Here are my three. On your back patio, you see a vinegaroon.
You do.
What else is it called?
How do you do that phonetically?
VINE.
Okay.
GAROON.
Now, are you in Australia when that happens?
No,
because
United
they're
States.
missing a good chance to have some of those down under. Doesn't that sound like
throw a vinegaroon on the Barbie?
Yes.
Here come the
I started trying to imitate an Australian accent and went right to Irish.
Honey, here come the kangaroos and the vinegaroons.
Right. Who's going to win in that match?
I saw the Vinegaroons in concert. Man, it was what a show. Right after the Bangles. All right, so that's.
I wouldn't admit I saw the Bangles if I were you, but you go right ahead if you think that.
Well, you had Robin's outfit on. You were go ahead.
All right, second question. What cartoon character always said, "Here I come to save the day"? Mm-hmm. And then third question is the true/false. Movie previews are called trailers because when they were first introduced, they were shown after the main feature. Is that true or false? That's it.
Here's what I've got. First question: which baseball team was plagued by the curse of the Bambino? Which baseball team was plagued by the curse of the Bambino? Second question, true or false, only about 25% of the Sahara Desert is sandy. Most of the Sahara Desert is covered in gravel. Is that true or false? You know, I'm going to have a Sahara Desert joke. So this guy who was, they were looking for a lumberjack, tree trimmer. This guy showed up, said, well, tell us about some of the work. Where have you been working? He said, I've been working in the Sahara forest. And they said, you mean the Sahara Desert? He said, well, yeah, now. So, and one more
Clear
question.
Cut.
Third question, a new one. The K in vitamin K stands for an 11-letter word that actually starts with a C. Name the word. The K,
wow.
you have vitamin K. That K stands for a word, an 11-letter word.
Yeah.
But it actually starts with a C. Sounds like a K.
Wow.
All right, my three questions. Number one, what are the two least populated states in the U.S.? They're not Alaska, not Rhode Island, not Montana. We've crossed those out because other callers have guessed that. Number two, if you can give me the first two verses of Psalm 91 by memory, then we will send you an AFR stainless steel travel mug, compliments of our ministry here and of the Trivia Friday show. All right, and finally, what are the three largest military bases by landmass in the United States? What are the top three largest military bases in the United States by land size?
By acres, not by troops.
That's right. Ed, let's go.
All right, folks, we're going to go back to Arkansas, if you can believe it. They're killing it in Arkansas. Holly is on the line. Holly, welcome to Trivia Friday. Holly, you there? Holly. Last call, Holly.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Okay. All right. We want to welcome you to Trivia Friday. We were afraid we had lost you somehow.
So many people step away from the radio while we're waiting, and that's a sickening feeling for us to think, oh, no, you just stepped away and you're going to miss the opportunity. Yep. Hey, Holly, where in Arkansas are you from?
Me and my dad, Searcy. I'm calling from Searcy, Arkansas.
Yes, ma'am. Great fishing right there where you are. Do you want to ask, answer, or do both?
Just going to answer because me and my dad can't think of anything to ask right now.
Okay. Tell your dad we said hello. Thank you both for listening to AFR. Which question do you feel confident about?
I feel pretty confident about the curse of the Bambino.
Here's the question. Which baseball team was plagued by the curse of the Bambino?
The Red Sox?
Boston Red Sox.
Boston Red Sox.
Ed grew up in that shadow.
Yes.
Well, how'd you know the story behind that, Holly?
I work in the newspaper business, and I watched a movie that took place about a newspaper in Boston, and just remembered it from that.
Oh, wow.
They took that pretty serious about them trading Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
What's the backstory, Ed? You know more about it since
well,
you grew up there in Boston.
The last time the Red Sox won the World Series prior to 2004 was in 1918, and I think over the season, the next season, they traded Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees,
who they called the Great Bambino.
They called him the Great Bambino, and they did not win a World Series again until 2004.
Almost 100 years.
Yeah, and that's why they got close, got very close. In fact, in 1975, they played against the Cincinnati Reds, went to 7 games, and there was always something that would happen to end their promising seasons. And they actually in 1967 they went to 7 games against the St. Louis Cardinals, and that's what they called it, the curse of the Bambino.
Wait a minute. You're telling me baseball players can be superstitious?
Yes.
I'm shocked by that.
That's right. So that was the curse of the Bambino.
Nicely done, Holly.
What's your question for us?
She doesn't have
Thank
one.
you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Can we?
What now?
Can we still ask a question?
Absolutely.
My dad wants to know if we can still.
Sure.
What does the Bible mean when it says, "Don't call your brother Rika"?
It means not to call him a fool.
Or empty head.
Ah, very good.
Thank you, Holly. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for listening.
What was the question?
Well,
again?
in Matthew 5, Jesus is talking about not being angry with your brother, and he says, even if you call him, and I think the Aramaic or Hebrew
One
word
says fool
is raka.
Raka.
And then in your notes it'll tell you what that means in English. And it's fool, empty head, something like that.
Gotcha.
Which I never called anyone empty head. It was always fool or some other insult. But the Bible says, Jesus said, that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's evidence of
And it's right
anger.
there in that little spot where he says, that some say don't do this, but he would take it the next step and say, even if you have this going on in your heart,
right,
you're,
All right, back to the phones.
All right. Okay, we go back to Arkansas, and Jerry is on the line. I can't believe we even have someone else on the list.
It's
from
conspiracy.
Arkansas.
You take Walmart and Sam's, and they get together and have all the different phone lines and all those little ways they can tweak that. Absolutely.
All right, Jerry. Welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey.
Hey, Jerry. Thanks for calling. Where do you live?
I'm in Alma, Arkansas.
Okay, if I'm looking at a map, where's that?
It's just north of Fort Smith.
Okay.
Oh, over the interstate?
Yep, that's it. Yes, sir.
You're about 30 minutes from Fayetteville? 45 maybe?
Yeah, something about 45, yeah. about 45.
You're up there near town. Greenwood, Green something. What's that?
Yep, Greenwood.
Greenwood.
There's Greenwood, yes, sir.
And you live over there by the Dollar General, don't you? I mean, there's a Dollar General somewhere nearby. I just listen.
I guarantee you that there's several of them, I promise you. Several.
All right, Jerry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, my name is Gary. It's Gary, not Jerry.
Oh, Gary. Sorry.
Gary. Okay, our bad.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not our mistake, but
our call screener misunderstood you.
Hey, Gary. Thank you. Thank
Gary.
you for listening there in Arkansas. Do you want to ask, answer, or do both, sir?
I will try both.
Which one you want to answer?
Well, let's go with, I guess, the cartoon character question.
Okay, Gary, what cartoon character always said, "Here I come to save the day"?
Well, I'm pretty sure that it's Mighty Mouse.
It was Mighty Mouse. That's right.
Mighty Mouse.
What?
Well, it shows your age, don't it?
Yes, yes, it does.
So
you your age when you know stuff like that.
Gary, you remember that cartoon, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was. I'll put you this way: I was very, very young, but I do remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. When was that, Ed? When was that?
Oh, I think it's late 50s, 60s. I think the Mighty Mouse cartoons went into the 70s as well.
Right. Yeah. It was. It probably did. Yeah.
Maybe even longer than that, because there was controversy over
I was thinking
Mighty
that
Mouse
same
in
thing.
the late 80s, maybe early 90s.
I was going to say Mighty Mouse did a lot of good when he wasn't snorting cocaine.
Yes. that was actually a controversy that AFA weighed in on.
Don Wildman uncovered that, and these cartoonists, and hate to get off on this rabbit trail, a lot of these cartoonists, they're brilliant, they're creative, but they were throwing little subtle things in there because they could, and they just say, well, it's just going to be one clip, and it's just going to be subliminal.
Yeah.
And then Don Wildman saw him over on his one elbow snorting some cocaine, and you go, ha, isn't this funny? We got that past the censors.
Yeah.
But there's children watching, and there's all kinds of things, and they do that with sexual innuendos all the time.
Right.
Who knew it would be as blatant as it is today?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so, Gary, what's your question for us?
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you a question from. I'm pretty sure you guys remember the show Sanford and Son, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Well, Red Fox was the main character, but it wasn't his actual real name. Can you name his real name?
So Red Fox was his stage name, huh?
He was.
Yeah, he was a comedian. I mean, I think he was a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he was. I don't know what his real name was.
Red Fox. I don't know either. Either. You know, JJ?
No, I'm like you. He was a stand-up comedian. He could be not family friendly in his stand-up acts, but hilarious with Sanford and Son.
Yeah. What's your answer? Yeah.
All right. Well, his actual real name was John Sanford.
Oh, that's nice that they took his real name
Sanford
for the
and
show.
Son.
Yeah, John Sanford.
Well, actually, his brother. He had an older brother. His name was Fred, and so that was his homage to his brother.
Well, how nice.
Played Fred Sanford.
Wow.
All right. So, Gary, who was he? Who was always going to see? Sam.
On the show, you mean?
Elizabeth?
Yeah, Elizabeth.
When he put his hand on his heart and he started thinking, about to have a heart attack. I'm coming to see you, Elizabeth.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Coming to see you. I'm coming to join you, honey.
Yeah.
That was his trademark.
Right.
When he would do that.
And it was Elizabeth's sister that was it Esther? The one who plagued him all the time. She was always trying to get him to go into church and get to church. And
actually, the gentleman who was his son, was he called Lamont on the show?
Yes,
is Desmond something.
But he was a Christian. I
think he became a preacher.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
all right. Thanks,
really
Gary.
Great actor. Really great actor. Yes, sir.
Gary, appreciate you listening to. Listen to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. That's Gary in Arkansas. We go next to Bill in Mississippi. Hey, Bill.
Hello.
Bill,
Hello, how are you?
Bill, do you have any real estate friends?
Any real estate friends?
Yes.
Well, I suppose I do. I'm a real estate lawyer.
Well, listen, it's not too late for you to move to Arkansas. There are a lot of people that live there, and they love AFR. And you at least think about it over the weekend. Talk to the missus.
Yeah,
Maybe
think about it over
Think
the
about
weekend.
moving to Arkansas.
Hey, Bill, thanks for calling, brother. Where do you live in Mississippi?
I'm in Gulfport.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, listen, WAOY there.
That's right.
All right. So,
Absolutely.
Bill, thanks for calling.
Ron Myers, the guy that used to be the station manager there, is a good friend of mine.
Ron Myers, a great
wow.
guy, and my wife is from there. And you might know Candy Anderson and Lowry Anderson.
Yes, I do.
Now Candy Ferris.
Yes, I do.
She had a program on WAOY. She was a columnist in the newspaper there.
Do you know our tower's 1,000 feet
Yeah,
tall?
I know all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, good folks. Hey, Bill, ask, answer, or do both, sir.
I'll do both.
Which one you want to answer?
Well, they took the Mighty Mouse question, so I'll try the two least populated states.
Okay. By the way, they are not Alaska, Rhode Island, or Montana. Those have already been guessed, so those three aren't under consideration. So, Bill,
They weren't going to be my guesses anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, name the two least populated states in the U.S.
Vermont and Wyoming.
Yes,
Nicely
sir.
done. Nicely done.
How did you know that?
I'm just a geography nut.
Okay.
Tim is as well.
Yeah.
Some of us are just plain nuts. Not nut about
This is true.
I'm like,
Now, hey, I want to know about this population because I'm thinking one of the Dakotas, they're like just 600,000 people in one of the Dakotas, and then Montana's not heavily populated. I never would have figured on Vermont.
you want to comment on that at all, Bill, or I will? Go ahead.
Well, honestly, what I was just thinking about was the ones that only have 3 electoral votes.
Right.
Okay, that was
yeah.
a good way to do the do the deduction.
So the 5 least populated states in the U.S. is number 5 is South Dakota.
Okay,
they've got nearly 900,000 people. North Dakota has 774,000 people. Alaska has 732,000 people. These are all under a million, obviously. And then Vermont is number 2 with 645. And then there'll be a test on this, by the way.
Yes.
I don't like
memorizing.
people just
I'm
looking
memorizing
at me
these
with
numbers,
glazed eyes.
no, we're filing it.
Okay,
in our
and
head.
Wyoming is the least populated state in the U.S. with 578,000 people
Wow.
in the entire state. I mean, can you name 3 towns in Wyoming, Bill?
Cheyenne, Laramie.
Billings.
Can't think of a third one right off the top of my head.
Billings, Montana.
Yeah, no, that's Montana.
Jackson Hole, right?
Jackson Hole.
That's true.
Jackson Hole, Billings, Jackson
Casper.
Hole. Yeah, but that's about it.
Casper.
Yeah. Casper. Well, so what you guys are saying, if we don't own a ranch in Wyoming, it's our own fault? Because there's plenty of land there.
Wyoming. Anyway, good.
Well,
way to
the
go.
government owns a lot
What's your
of it.
question for us?
How are y'all for Star Trek trivia?
Ed is he's the aficionado.
I'm mediocre
I'm
about
back,
it.
I'm back up.
Okay, this is. Let's see. The only college or university, only real college or university ever mentioned in the Star Trek series was what? And I'll give you a hint. That's where Dr. McCoy went to college.
Dr. McCoy.
The doctor there with the
Jim.
With,
the
doctor,
doctor,
not a butcher.
Okay. Was he the real?
He was the real McCoy, yes.
I'm going to reach across and get this up on that.
Okay.
That almost went over my head.
I don't. You got me, Bill. I know some things about Star Trek. Let me just put it this way: I know more than Tim does, but that's not really saying anything.
That quote, you got his voice down. That's saying a lot.
Chicago Loyola.
Chicago Loyola.
Well,
I'm going to say it was a
nope,
junior
probably
college.
not.
All right, what's the answer?
Well, some of you Mississippi State people might think it's a junior college, but it's about 50 miles away from y'all. It's Ole Miss.
Oh,
what?
He went to Ole Miss?
He was from Ole Miss?
That was mentioned?
That was mentioned in the series that he went to Ole Miss.
Wow. They need to put that on some of their brochures.
Was he there during the Archie years? when was he?
Well, Tim, this is what I'm talking about when I say, you don't know much about Star Trek. It takes place in the future. Far, far in the future, when one of the Mississippi teams actually won another national championship.
Oh.
Hey, Bill, thanks for listening to AFR, and tell our friends there on the Gulf Coast hello.
All right,
I certainly will. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Bill. Should we repeat our questions or go for another call?
I'd go for another call.
And then when we come back, we can do that.
All right, we go. We're going to stay in Mississippi, and Wendy is on the line.
Everyone knows it's.
Hey, Wendy, welcome to Trivia Friday.
I'm laughing because I got that reference.
Yes.
I'm that old.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
From the 60s.
But everyone knows it.
It's Wendy.
Yeah.
Wendy.
Yeah. That was a catchy
the Cowsills? Who was that?
Huh?
What group was that?
The McCoys.
The McCoys, the real McCoys.
Yeah, I don't know. Who sang that, Wendy, for a free travel mug?
You know she's going to know. It's her
Are
name.
you kidding me?
No,
I have no idea.
Oh, what?
That's disappointing.
Wendy, your name is in it.
I know it. The only reason I know that song is because my friend made me do this crazy, what's that crazy guy's name that does the workout video, Richard Simmons?
Yeah.
And so he was dancing to the oldies was what it was, and that song was in it, and I was like, what? I mean, really? There's a song with my name in it?
Yeah.
And I can remember that, and I don't remember a whole lot, but that was that's probably at least 25 years ago when we did that.
I will look
that
up.
Yeah, because Richard Simmons, he's no spring chicken now.
Well, I got things I don't want to say about that situation.
I guess he's still alive. I hadn't thought about him lately, but anyway.
Prancing
around. When I would go somewhere and I'd been there for the second time, and I said, boy, they say if you're able to come back, you've seen it all and done it all.
Yeah.
But I said, actually, there's something I haven't seen but would like to. Richard Simmons in long pants. Well, that worked 20 years ago.
Yes.
And people would get the biggest kick out of that.
But now they go, Richard Simmons. Who's that? Who's that? All right.
I'd just like to see some young folks in today's climate wear some long pants.
That's right. Hey, Wendy, ask, answer, or do both.
Okay, well, both of the ones that I was going to try to answer have been answered, so I'm going to randomly go with the duck echo.
That was in the promo.
That was in the promo.
But you do have a true or false, don't you? That's okay. We have a couple true or false. You've got one right, Ed. I've got one.
I do have a true false, and so does JJ. Just pick one of us, and we'll let you take a shot at that. It'll be 50-50.
It's JJ, of course.
Okay. Here's what I've got, Wendy. Only 25% of the Sahara Desert is sandy. Most of the Sahara Desert is covered in gravel. Is that true or false?
Jeez. False.
Sandy, Wendy, that is 100% true.
True.
It is true. 75% of the Sahara Desert is covered in gravel, and that's why the camels, they've got those flippers. They don't even try to put horseshoes on them. They've just got these
pads.
I don't know. But is that crazy that it's in gravel? Who knew?
I didn't know that. Hey, Wendy, before we go to our break, do you have a question for us? If you do, can you wait 5 minutes?
Of course.
All right. Thank you.
We got a 5-minute break, folks. You can listen to the news of the day.
And I'm going to have a surprise for Wendy when we get back from this break.
All right.
All right.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio. We all know you have tons of apps on your phone, but do you have the AFR app?
Well, I don't think I can download it.
No worries. The AFR app is available not only for Apple and Android users, but also on Amazon Alexa and Roku.
But I only want to listen to music, and
The new music option allows you to stream music anytime you want.
I'm downloading it now.
Download the AFR app today at afr.net. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
For American Family News, I'm Chris Woodward. George Santos has been expelled from the U.S. House of Representatives. The vote was 311 to 114. Republicans and other critics said Santos used campaign money for personal use. Santos called it a witch hunt. An author and former advisor to Donald Trump predicts Joe Biden will be impeached next year. Chad Groening has more.
Much has been made about the multiple criminal cases confronting GOP frontrunner Donald Trump next year. A growing number of Republicans believe the former president needs to be replaced by someone else with less political baggage. But on the Democrat side, there have been constant rumblings about Joe Biden's age and his failing poll numbers, leading to speculation that there may be an effort to replace him with someone like California Governor Gavin Newsom. Dick Morris is a New York Times bestselling author, political consultant, and author of Corrupt, the inside story of Biden's dark money. He believes the Republican-controlled House of Representatives will present another problem for Biden.
I think that Biden is going to be impeached by the House. I think he'll be acquitted by the Senate. I think that in the course of it, there'll be a trial that will explain all of the nefarious dealings of Biden. He basically took his family and sent them all over the world to go around making business deals that were totally dependent on his influence as vice president and then as president, and profited handsomely from it. When Biden left the Senate, his net worth was $26,000. Now it's over $10 million. And that is all because of bribes and payoffs that he received.
And Morris believes ultimately Biden will lose his reelection bid to Trump. I'm Chad Groening.
The temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is over. Fox's Greg Palcott has more on how the war is resuming on the ground in southern Israel.
After a week-long ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, we can confirm firsthand the war is definitely back on. As the sun sets here, we got Gaza Strip about a mile behind us. All day we've been seeing and hearing Israeli airstrikes and Israeli artillery hits. We've also been witnessing Hamas rockets coming from there over this town and knocked down, and we've been hearing a lot of gunfire, signs of clashes nearby.
Qatari officials say they are still in the process of trying to broker a new, longer truce. Former U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor has died. Here's Fox's Jared Halpern.
O'Connor died this morning in Phoenix. She was 93 years old. A statement from the Supreme Court says O'Connor had advanced dementia, probably Alzheimer's, and a respiratory illness. O'Connor was nominated to the High Court in 1981 by President Reagan, becoming the first woman Associate Justice. She retired in 2006. Chief Justice John Roberts called O'Connor a daughter of the American Southwest who blazed a historic trail and met challenges with undaunted determination, who was an independent defender of the rule of law and an eloquent advocate for civics education.
Japan's top government spokesperson has expressed concern that the U.S. military is continuing to fly Osprey aircraft in the country without providing adequate information about a fatal crash this week in southwestern Japan, despite repeated requests to do so. Japanese officials say they have asked the U.S. military to halt Osprey flights in Japan, except for those involved in the search for the downed aircraft. Now, the Pentagon said that U.S. Ospreys continue to operate in Japan, and a deputy press secretary said she was not aware of an official grounding request from Japan. Expect to see more marijuana in Connecticut. Fox's Tanya J. Powers tells us why.
Starting today, people in Connecticut can buy half an ounce of recreational pot at a time, up from a quarter of an ounce. The Department of Consumer Protection announced the sales expansion on November 1st. The Hartford Courant reports that medical marijuana users can still buy up to 5 ounces per month and have no individual purchase limits. The limits were put in place to make sure there's enough supply for both medical and adult use cannabis consumers. The law allows possession of up to 1.5 ounces of pot, and users can store up to 5 ounces in a locked container at home.
Find more news on afn.net.
Spreading the love and message of Jesus just got easier. The Christmas bundle helps break the ice and open the door to share the gospel. It contains a Christmas shirt, 3 Christmas button or wristband 10-packs, 8 ounces of Noel coffee, the Advent Alphabet book, a Hope of All the Earth CD, and a 10-pack of Isaiah 9:6 stickers, all at a very special price. Get your Christmas bundle today at resources.afa.net.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. We got 25 minutes left here on this edition of Trivia Friday, otherwise known as
Learning University.
Learning University. And we have Wendy on from Mississippi, and we were talking to her. She's got a question for us. But, Wendy, you there?
Yes.
But, Wendy, I got something special for you here. Hit it. Yeah, here we go. Turn it up, man. Turn it up.
So good.
Everybody together now. Everybody clap now. Come on. Who's with me? Huh? Here we go. There you go. You have to go to the YouTube to get the rest of that.
But terribly enough, I can see Richard Simmons doing this crazy sideways
he ruined it.
clap.
Wendy, you need therapy, sister.
Oh, no.
You need therapy.
Hey, Wendy, and a question that you're going to ask us a question, but a question that you answered about the Sahara Desert. One of our coworkers in the hall, when we took a break, he said, "Boy, you just messed me up." He said, "I can picture sand dunes all day long, but gravel dunes?" He said, that hurt right there. So, and I'm with him. Who would have thought that 75% of the Sahara Desert is gravel? Hey, Wendy, thanks for being a good sport on your name. What's your question for us?
Okay, I may or may not live on Euclid Road, and so I have never heard anything about where that word comes from, and I have had to spell that for 40 years.
Okay, Wendy, what you're talking
about? Anyway, so do y'all know, without Googling it, do you know where the term Euclid comes from?
I know. I can take a real good guess. It's a Chickasaw Indian word, Euclid, the road there, because you have Itawamba County, Pontotoc County,
you're
Tuscumbie.
You're talking about where we live.
North Mississippi, there's a road near Saltillo, and there's so many Indian names, Native American names.
You're saying it's a Choctaw?
No, a Chickasaw would be my guess, because the Chickasaw Nation was not too far from where our station is located right now.
So not Choctaw, Chickasaw?
Chickasaw.
Mama was a Chippewa, and I'm one of a kind. It's Tim McGraw.
Everyone knows it's Wendy.
It's Tim McGraw, 1994. Right there.
All right, Wendy. All right.
Yeah,
all right, Wendy. I know Pontotoc means hanging grapes. It's for the wisteria, but I don't know the meaning, but I'm guessing it's Chickasaw. How close am
I? Well, according to this, which I just read this week, and it says that it comes from either the Choctaw language or the Chickasaw language, purported to mean either killer of people or the one who captures and kills.
I'd say both those are pretty dark for a Friday morning.
I I might want to move off that. That sounds like living on Elm Street.
Well, they changed it. They changed it from Euclid-Tubla and just started calling it Hamas. Hamas Road.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Remember that?
Oh my God!
It's like living on Mafia Street.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
That is. That's a. Hey, thank you,
All right,
Wendy.
Wendy, God bless you.
Hey, that is a great road there and a great area.
Hey, let's repeat our questions, guys.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yes. Heretofore.
Heretofore going unanswered.
I have 2 remaining. I'm going to stick with those 2. First question. On your back patio, you see a vinegaroon. What else is it called? Vinegaroon. You see a vinegaroon.
Coming at you.
What else is it called?
It's coming at you.
Second question. Movie previews are called trailers because when they were first introduced, they were shown after the main feature. Is that true or false?
Oh, that's good. Hey, I want to apologize for making light when I do that little Hamas thing in there. That is no joking matter with everything that's going on. But, we're just kind of having some fun with those dark Indian names. First question, the K in vitamin K stands for a word that has 11 letters, but it actually starts with a C. It sounds like a K, but it starts with a C, like carrot. So the K in vitamin K stands for an 11 word that ties to the vitamin, what the vitamin is about. Name that. Hope that's not confusing. And then I'll add one. The Apostle Paul was called by Jesus on the road to which city? The Apostle Paul was called by Jesus on the road to which city?
All right, I got 2 questions left. Number 1, if you can give this to me by memory, we will send you an AFR stainless steel travel mug, okay? Free, and you'll have it in the mail in a week. So I want the 2 first verses from the Psalm 91. Psalm 91, what are the first 2 verses? And I tell you what, I'll leave it at that. And did I have a second question? I think I did. Okay, here we go.
The bases.
Yes, the question is, what are the 3 largest military bases in the United States by acreage? Not necessarily by service people on campus there, so to speak, but I want to know the 3 largest military bases in America by land. And so there you go. Let's go, Ed.
All right, we go to South Dakota, and Margaret is on the line. Margaret, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
Hi, Margaret. Where do you live in South Dakota?
Rapid City.
Okay, wonderful.
Good area.
Oh, what's the weather today?
It's in the low 30s, high 20s.
Okay.
Sunny.
That's good.
So balmy, huh? It's kind of a balmy December day in South Dakota.
This time of year it is.
I've been to Sioux City. You've been to Rapid City, haven't you?
Been to Rapid City? Yes.
Oh, Sioux City. Well, what is it? Is it Sioux Falls then I'm thinking about?
Yes, sir.
South Dakota? Yeah. But, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Margaret, thanks for calling. Ask, answer, or both?
Ask. No, answer. I'm going to answer your question on the Psalm.
Okay. All right. So I want you for a AFR travel mug, if you can do this by memory. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want you to give me the first 2 verses of Psalm 91.
All right. I'm not sure when it ends, so you stop me. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, you, O Lord, are my fortress and my refuge. You are my stronghold in whom I trust.
Amen.
Wow.
That's it.
Amen. Nicely
done. That's the first
done.
2 verses. How long have you had that committed to memory?
9 years.
You know the whole thing, don't you?
Let me tell you, folks, if you're feeling gloomy and down and doubtful, and I'm being serious here. Of course, the Word of God is the remedy. Okay, reading the Word of God, but this right here, Psalm 91 says it will re-anchor your soul. So
Amen. That's good.
So say that again, Margaret, because that was beautiful. Go ahead.
He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, you, O Lord, are my fortress and my refuge. You are my stronghold in whom I trust.
Amen.
That's good.
Surely he will.
Yes, that's it. Hey, you could go
Yes,
on.
that's
and
good.
All right. Well, listen, thank you for doing that, Margaret. You got it correct, and we will send you the AFR stainless steel
you
travel mug.
stay on the line after you ask your question. Hey, Margaret, now South Dakota, I get mixed up. Aberdeen, is that South Dakota or North Dakota?
South.
That is in South Dakota.
I've been to Aberdeen 3 different occasions for banquets and
never knew what state you were in.
No, I never know what state I'm in half the time.
It's like a rock band.
In my
They all look
mind,
the same.
I don't know if I'm coming or going or I'm a day late and $1 short. But I will say, not only is it a great area, but once when I went, they said, come a day early. We want to take you pheasant hunting. So I got a pheasant, and it's on the wall, and that's an incredible area to go pheasant hunting there in Aberdeen, South Dakota. All right, Margaret, what's your question for us?
Name 5 states that border the northern border.
Talking about Canada?
All right, you got Montana.
Yes.
Montana.
Alaska.
Alaska
borders Canada, am I right?
The northern,
does?
I think,
Yeah.
Montana,
Washington,
Alaska.
Washington, Montana, Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Look at you.
Idaho.
Michigan.
Has a little
Michigan
small-
has water between it, I think. No, wait a minute.
It's got a little piece of it up there on
you
the
also
left
got
western corner.
You also got New York because you got
Vermont.
Niagara Falls and Toronto right there.
How many did you say there are?
She just wanted 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said 5 of them.
Say again?
You guys aced it. I only said to name 5 of them.
How many are there?
I did most of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys, you can say that if you want to, Margaret, but we know who got the big hit in the ball game.
We know who had the walk-off homer.
Right. JJ got hit by a pitch, and Ed walked.
Ed walked.
Hey, but my run counts. I got Vermont and Idaho. Well, you guys jumped on. You guys jumped into it, and I just said, "Well, I'll let you guys go."
So we got it right. All those states. Maine borders what? Nova Scotia, maybe, or one of the.
It does.
All right, thank you, Margaret. God bless you.
All
Have
right,
a great day.
stay on the line, Margaret. Don't hang up. We're going to put you on hold.
So we went on our crazy epic adventure, our family from Mississippi to Maine, and drove through 24 states going and coming. So we went to a lighthouse, and there was a beach out there, and the water was in the 40s.
In Maine?
In Maine. It was in the 40s or 50s
Atlantic
in
is
August. And I said, I just can't take this. The kids stayed out there, but I'm just going, and I got a band.
That's what happened. You
across
dive in,
my-
and that's what happens.
Yes.
It
So
takes your breath away.
I asked Melanie, I said, this is August. How can water be this cold? She said, honey, we're closer to Nova Scotia. And I thought she was going to say than Mississippi. She said, we're closer to Nova Scotia than we are New York. And I said, what? She said, yes, we're just jutting out there.
You're halfway to the Arctic right there, my friend.
And listen,
we experienced it.
Swam out there many, many times growing up, especially in high school. Swim out over my head until I saw Jaws, and then I stopped doing that. But you could not. I didn't, at least. You didn't just walk into the Atlantic.
The North Atlantic.
The North Atlantic. Because it was just too cold. You had to dive in, get it over with.
Yeah.
And then your body becomes a little more acclimated, but you come out shivering.
And I was used to Destin, Florida, so it looked like the Sahara gravel dunes.
Yeah.
I had the gravel, but some lady, she could see I was tapping out, lips are blue, and I said, she said, water cold, got a twinkle in her eye.
Yeah.
I said, I can't catch my breath. I said, what, she said, yeah, that's why the beaches are just now open. They've only been open for a couple of weeks because now the water's so warm. I thought, water's so warm? Are you kidding me?
No, it's cold. It's a lot different than the Gulf Coast here,
Right.
or even lower along the Atlantic on the Florida side up through Virginia.
But now it was exciting and fun, but that was a real culture shock.
Culture shock.
Yeah.
All right, we go, folks, back to Arkansas, and Melissa is on the line. Melissa, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Well,
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Melissa.
Yes.
Thanks for calling.
Listen to y'all every day.
Well, bless you. Where do you live in Arkansas?
Bismarck. It's a little over an hour south of Little Rock.
Toward Camden or toward on the interstate there?
The interstate.
Toward Arkadelphia.
Towards Texarkana. Yeah.
Arkadelphia, that area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, listen, thanks for calling. Ask, answer, or both?
Both.
Okay. Which one do you want to answer?
The two of them already been answered, but so I had to change my thinking. So I'm going to go with the military bases.
Okay, and I'll give you credit since we're late in the show here. I'll give you credit if you can answer 2 out of the 3. I'll send you an AFR stainless steel.
Oh, nice.
Travel mug.
That's
if
generous.
you can get 2 out of the 3. So
what's the question?
The question that Melissa's going to answer is, I want 2 of the 3 largest military bases by land mass in the U.S.
Okay, here we go. Fort Bragg, that's in North Carolina.
That is number 1. Number 1, Fort Bragg. Okay. Got another guess.
Campbell.
Fort Campbell's number 2. I tell you, for the trifecta, and an AFR stainless steel travel mug and one of J.J. Jasper's books, what's number 3?
I'm thinking it's the one in Texas. That's the Fort Hood.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's
she got
a mystery question.
Yeah.
She gets 2 travel mugs.
She's going to get showered.
And one of J.J. Jasper's books.
Yeah, nobody's ever won more here, Melissa, on this show on one question.
Yeah, you got the box, the curtain, and what was in the envelope.
And Carol Merrill.
Carol Merrill will come over.
So here's the watchword for today, Melissa.
Okay.
Stocking stuffers. You got you some stocking stuffers to give as gifts.
You got to hold on. We get through this with our conversation here, Melissa. Hold on, because Robert will get your address and we'll send you one of JJ's books and
2 travel mugs.
2 travel mugs. Now, just to finish up here on this question, what are the 3 largest military bases in the U.S. by land mass? And Melissa got it right. And
she got it in order.
She got it in order. Fort Bragg in North Carolina is 163,000 acres.
Wow.
It's by far the largest, and then Fort Campbell's number 2, 105,000 acres. And then
Fort Hood.
Fort Hood.
You know, I have made a mistake here. She got them right.
Yeah.
She got them right. Melissa got them right. But Fort Hood, actually, by this sheet of paper I got, I'm going to blame it on that.
Okay.
Printout. But the Fort Hood's number 1.
Really?
Land mass. I was quoting them just now by population. According to population, Fort Bragg is number 1, Fort Campbell 2, and Fort Hood 3. By acreage, Fort Hood, I think it's got a new name now. Fort Hood is number 1 by acreage with 214,000 acres, and Fort Bragg is number 2. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, I apologize for that, but you still got it right.
That's right. You got it right.
The 3 largest military bases are Fort Bragg, Fort Campbell, and Fort Hood.
Wow. That's
Fort
a lot
Campbell's
of acreage.
up near you, your neck of the woods, JD.
I have gotten an airplane, flown from Mississippi to Owensboro, Kentucky, easy, straight flight. Then when the base is active, air traffic control will route me around, and they'll route me way over to the land between the lakes to circle the airspace. And I think, how big is this? And I never knew that it was that large.
They're keeping you out of Fort Campbell airspace.
Keeping me out of Fort Campbell. And I'm like, no, this is going to add, this is going to be 45 minutes. And, I might have to stop, take on more fuel. But now that makes sense that it's such a large area.
Yeah.
It's bigger than a lot of cities.
Yes. Melissa, go ahead. What's your question for us?
Okay, since we did the military, what are the bases in the Army in Europe? What are they called?
The U.S. bases in the Army?
The Army's U.S. bases, yes.
Okay, don't say anything, Melissa.
Ed's going to know this.
No,
He's a big history guy. In military history.
Okay.
Do you want to add part to that question that might help? Are they all located in one base, like we have a base here in the United States?
Okay, don't say anything, Melissa. We're just going to talk amongst ourselves here and try to kind of piece this together. I just thought they were called like forward operating bases. I didn't know that there was a special name that they had for them. You guys have any idea?
I was thinking post, maybe.
That's not a bad idea.
Like outpost. We don't. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you stumped us,
Yeah,
Melissa.
that's a great question. What's the answer?
Concerns.
Say again.
The Army bases, concerns.
Okay, I'm
concerns.
Begin.
What does it begin with?
Concerns. A K, if I remember right. A K. The Army bases are broken up into small towns.
Okay.
That's
interesting. Concern. How do you spell that?
We're getting
I don't remember.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end of the show.
We'll look that up.
Just hold on a minute. This is very important to me. And y'all are just dismissing it. Like, we got to move on. We're about out of time. I want to know how a concern is spelled.
Concern?
She said
the military base we were stationed at in Germany, it wasn't all one hub. Like we have a main base here and fenced in. It would be sections in towns spread out. So the commissary would be over in another town, and the bases were called concerns.
Concerns. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, your family service, and what'd you find? What'd you find?
It's
on
not
that,
a real
Tim?
word. I think it's slang. But that's all right.
Thanks.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Hey,
Thank you, Melissa.
Stay on the line.
Right.
I'm going to put you on hold, and
Send you all
Robert
that
will
loot.
get your information, and we'll send you all that stuff. So
Yeah, she won the
I
trifecta.
just typed in KISERN, but that's not it.
Adam, our Cracker Jack
we
aerial
got time
guy.
for one more call.
He's
We got time for
he's
one more
having a
call.
hard time finding it as well.
Who's next,
all right,
Ed?
we go to Texas, and Jordan is on the line. Jordan, welcome to Trivia Friday. We are up against the clock a little bit, so we have to kind of do this quickly. Would you like to ask, answer, or do both?
I think we can get both in, and good morning and howdy to y'all.
Thank you, Bill.
Which one you want to try to answer?
Okay, I'll do the Paul and which town he was headed to, or which area he was headed to.
All right, here's the question. The Apostle Paul was called by Jesus on the road to which city?
Damascus.
Damascus.
Yes.
The road to Damascus.
The road to Damascus.
Nice. What's your question for us?
Sir. Okay, the star of The Passion, Jim Caviezel, he had a passion of his own in high school, a sport that he was really wanting to go pro in. And I just want to know if you guys know which sport that was.
I'll take this. Surprisingly, it was badminton. He was fierce out there,
Badminton.
swinging that.
Fierce badminton, yeah.
You're bad to the bone. He
could
would
hurt you.
He
He
would
could hurt
dive
you.
for that little birdie and just look like Superman when he was trying to make a touchdown or whatever you do when you're doing that. No, these guys may know.
I'm going to guess soccer. You got to guess, Tim?
Scrabble? I don't know.
All right, badminton, soccer.
I'm going to go football.
Or Scrabble.
Football. Because if you can be in a movie and get hit by lightning and you're bad to the bone, you make a good football player.
What's the answer, Jordan?
The answer is basketball. He was really good at basketball.
Basketball.
Jim Caviezel, the basketball player. Okay.
Really?
Hey, thanks for that, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Sorry to rush you. All right, a vinegaroon is also known as a whip scorpion.
Oh.
And it is true that movie previews are called trailers because when they were first introduced in 1910, they were shown after the main feature, but people would leave the movie house, so they started putting them at the beginning.
The K in vitamin K stands for coagulation. That's just what happens when you're using Pahonics. It starts with the C, but it's coagulation. They call it vitamin K. Tim?
I don't have anything left. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim